Hi, today's question has 3 answers, and the third one will show you how using pen names can make you a lot more money. Now, let me just get right on into the question then. So the question was, using a pen name in the early stages of your career, is this a good idea or is this a bad idea? Well, this is a very interesting one. I had never considered using a pen name because I figured when I first started, should I use my own name, or why would I write a book unless I was going to use my own name? Since I had put in the work and such, I figured it would just be for people who weren't using pen names. And so, but is it a good idea? Is it a bad idea? What are the reasons we might want to use a pen name, and what reasons might we not want to use a pen name? So there's an awful lot of questions surrounding the issue of using pen names. But before I start, let you know that this is Chris Baird from selfpublishingmadeeasynow.com. Go ahead and click the subscribe, hit the subscribe bell if you would like me to make more videos like this one. And check out below, I have a self-publishing secrets checklist to help you get started on your self-publishing journey. Now let's get right on into it. When I started, I did not use a pen name. I started by using my own name, and I picked topics of books that I was familiar with or interested in that I could research and write books on. And so I came out with a number of books, and throughout the journey, I then began to discover that there actually is a good reason to use pen names. And since then, of my 170 plus books, many of them are using maybe 15 different pen names between the different ones. And I can get a little bit more into that on the answers to exactly why that is a good idea. Now, the first thing is there is no problem using one or more pen names. And the reason people like to use pen names, it can be because you're writing on an embarrassing topic, whether it's like romance or something like that, and you don't want your name associated necessarily with the writing you're doing, or maybe it's like how-to nonfiction books on subjects that can be very sensitive, from marijuana or other topics that are controversial, and you do not wish to have your own name associated with those topics. So that can be the first one. The second thing is it's a side job, that you're doing it on the side and you really don't want to draw attention to the books that you're writing, even if they're just fiction books. So that's another one. Another reason some people would do it is because they're embarrassed by the quality of the writing that they're doing. They know they're not particularly all that high quality, and they don't necessarily want to have their name associated with those books. So that also gives you another reason that you might wish to use a pen name when writing your books. The other thing to remember is that many famous authors have used pen names, and there's a whole series of different reasons that you might go about using a pen name as opposed to using your real name when doing it. But the third answer, which is the secret answer of how you can earn more money, is the fact that your pen name, if you're writing in multiple genres, that is to say, for example, you're writing in horror on the one side, and you also want to do cookbooks, if you put those under the same author, you will decrease the money you make for both of them. And that is because people will assume you're neither particularly good at one or the other, that you're just rather jumping all over the place. You're not really specialized in anything. It undermines your authority as an author, regardless of the quality of the books. So if one day you're writing a romance book, and the next day it's a cookbook, and then you're telling people how to raise their puppies, and then the next day you're writing a mystery, cozy mystery, people will assume, well, wait a second, what kind of author is this? There's a narrative in their minds, and the narrative that they have is they want to make sure that the books that you're writing are all within the same genre. So if you're planning on breaking off, which is okay, branching off into multiple genres, you're going to want to make sure that that break off, that you actually do use different pen names. You can later on take credit for those different pen names if you would like, but at least in the beginning, it is a good idea to not do that. If you wish to maximize the amount of books you're going to be selling, use different pen names. There's nothing dangerous. It's not unethical. There's no problem with that. You're not tricking anybody. This is standard practice. So that's another one. And also, if you didn't write the books yourself, it's probably not a good idea. We regularly read in the news of people who supposedly wrote a book, celebrities, and in reality, somebody else had written the book completely for them. And so even though that also can be okay, having a ghostwriter who writes a book but puts together the ideas and the words that you say, this is still not a great practice. I personally do not like to put my name to something that I myself did not produce or write. So that's just another little tidbit to keep in mind when you're deciding should you use a pen name or not. So what have you found? Have you found using pen names to be useful for you? Or have you found advantages to actually using your own name so that when you go around, like people would recognize, wait, I recognize your name as an author of those books? Go ahead and let me know below in the comments, and check out above me here, and you'll see more videos where I answer questions just like this one. Thanks.